So we have come to, at long last, our very, very first soul activation series, the very first one of our series with Tess Vergara, who is our soul powered executive and leadership coach. And I'm really, really excited to have Tess doing this for us every once a month. She's going to pop in around once a month and pop in and give us some sort of soul powered activation that's going to help you as you are stepping up as change makers and coaches, leading in this. I say we're coming into a new age. So I think this is really, really perfect for us. So thank you so much for Tess. What I'm going to do is just let Tess go for it. I'm going to put myself on mute and close down my video so that you can just really, really all get into Tess and what she's got to deliver to help us all out with that. And you know, the aim is to have you today looking at your self-doubt, and don't be worried if you've got it. It's like most coaches that I work with have got some essence of self-doubt, particularly when you're starting out. And as I've mentioned before, when you hit each level as well, you'll tend to find it and hit it. So Tess is going to have you today evolving past that self-doubt, because it's only when you get past that self-doubt, and I'm sure many of you can see this in yourself, it's only when you start to move past it or to work with it, it doesn't mean it's going to completely disappear, but to be able to work with it, that you will find that your coaching business will start to fire up. So Tess, I'm going to leave it for you to take over for us.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. Yeah, as you mentioned, Vanessa, in one of your posts, and what you just said again today, there's no shame in self-doubt. Everyone struggles with it, and that struggle can be extremely challenging, especially for us coaches and change makers, living behind a world we used to know and then creating something new, something better, something grand, right? So from thoughts to things. And there's so many teachings out there how to manifest from thoughts to things. And guess what blocks the manifestation process, right? From materializing your biggest dreams, right? It's self-doubt. So maybe your dream is building your six-figure coaching business, or lead your company, your team to pioneer change in all the things going on out there. We are at an all-time high environmental crisis, social justice, political crisis, you name it. So maybe you're meant to alleviate human poverty and homelessness, right? And the heartbreaking human trafficking going on out there, or the mental health crisis, whatever your mission, whatever your purpose as a coach and change maker, whatever got you here, I applaud you for stepping into it. And I really want to acknowledge Vanessa, our fearless leader, right, for creating the kind of platform and environment for us, for leading the way, really guiding us to step into the spotlight and get known, because the planet as you know it is in a state of emergency. And as a coach and change maker, we, all of us have an important work to do. And I am humbled and honored to support you evolve past self-doubt so you can fulfill your mission. Thank you, Vanessa, and thank you, Spotlighters, for having me. Whew, I need to take a breath. And that's why we're starting off with this topic, the monthly Soul Power series, right? So that we can really hold each other in that space of highest love and possibilities for the highest good. At least that is my intention. What kills our dream, what kills your dream, is you doubting your own abilities. When the going is good, life's okay, right? I got this, right? Yeah, good. But when the going gets tough, we collapse our energy and we start to think, who am I kidding? Am I delusional, right? Is this ever gonna work? I must not deserve it. I must not be doing something right. Who do you think you are, right? So self-doubt can be crippling, can really weigh you down in worry and fear. And More so if you are a leader and change maker and afraid to let people down. So here's what I'm going to share. Self-doubt attacks you in so many areas of life, not just stepping into leadership, not just stepping into the spotlight. Sometimes it shows up in finances, sometimes it shows up in relationships, friendship, health, right? So it can creep and grow, especially if you're trained to ignore it and shush it, because to acknowledge it means you're acknowledging your deepest fear, your deepest insecurity about yourself, the one that you are hiding from the world, right? There's no shame in addressing self-doubt. And if it's okay with you, I'd like to share my story. Part of it I already shared in December, Soul Power Activate 2020, right? So I shared that when my kids turned teenager and started needing me less and less, I got married, hoping he'll take the pain away. What happened was my husband triggered a lot of self-doubt in me, self-doubt that I didn't know was inside of me. He triggered deepest insecurities I didn't know I had, and it all came bubbling into the surface, and I didn't know what to do with it. I couldn't recognize who I was anymore. So from being a single mom for 15 years, with my eldest at that time was 2, youngest was only 5 months old, right? I didn't get any money from their dad. But despite that, I built an amazing life for my children, sent them to private school, from kindergarten to high school to college, right? So I became a finance director and my career was an all-time high. I had investment properties, owned my own bookkeeping business on the side. And then this new husband comes along who was supposed to make me feel good and happy, and instead pushed all the right buttons to get me to where I am now. And so to all of a sudden see myself as needy and insecure was very confusing. If I was this insecure person, then who was that? Who was that person that was strong and confident? Was I just pretending to be strong and confident when deep inside I was really insecure? Was it all just false bravado? So I started doubting myself, and that doubt spiraled into depression and procrastination. I couldn't function in any of my roles as a wife, as a mom, in my job. It was debilitating. I didn't want to get up. And when I was up, I worked myself so hard to the point of exhaustion, just so I won't hear that noise in my head, that blah, 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 blah. So I blamed a lot of my unhappiness to my husband for pushing my buttons. I was angry, I was enraged, and I turned into a cynic. I later realized those buttons had been there before him. He was simply a catalyst to my awakening. I didn't know then that I was being given an opportunity to uninstall the buttons that, when pushed, it drained my energy and it gave my power away. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that there were buttons that, when pushed, triggered all my doubts and bring up my insecurities. I didn't know it were all inside of me. So I hope you're following the story, that my getting married was a really huge gift to wake up, but I didn't know it at that time. This was 2012, and it's a miracle that he's still alive because I really just wanted to strangle him at that time. And where there was turbulence before in our relationship, now there's peace and deeper bond between us. It's a soul to soul connection that is very hard to explain. But at that time, oh my God, I really just wanted to strangle him. And I resisted the gift. The gift, like, how can the gift be so annoying? How can the gift be so frustrating? But it really was there for my growth, an opportunity to discover myself, especially the parts of me that I was hiding, that I didn't even know was there, that I didn't want the world to know about me. And I was not pretending to be strong. That part of me is true, is real. But the parts of me that I wanted to keep hidden, the shadows of being strong, they were coming up, bubbling up to the surface, so I can bring them back to wholeness, so I can become finally whole and soul powered. And now this is what I do. I help my clients come to that place of reconciliation with themselves, right? So they can powerfully fulfill what they came here to do. So, yeah, I didn't know there was such resistance in me. So, what I'd like to do now in this soul powered activation session is offer some provocative thoughts you may or may not agree with, right? But the intention is to reframe and shift your relationship with self doubt so you can evolve past it, so you can fulfill your mission, so you can bring to life that 6-figure business that you've been diligently working towards, which means you are helping more people find a way to their freedom and fulfillment, which I really believe is inevitable. It is inevitable. It's just a matter of when, right? And I am an advocate on speeding up the process. Why? Because of this planetary emergency that we're on, right? The world needs you right now. And I am shaking right now talking to you all, but I have to move past my discomfort and step into leadership and help each other evolve past self-doubt. And so for those of you who have evolved past self-doubt, will you join me in holding the space and energy for all change makers here and beyond this group so they can fulfill their mission? And hopefully for all those who are riddled with self-doubt, hopefully you find the ideas that I'm about to present so crazy and so far-fetched, it will blow your mind and blast open your hidden potentialities and possibilities so you can now fully step into soul-powered leadership. And what I usually say to my clients is don't half-ass this. I hope this is okay. Don't half-ass it. It's come full ass. Bring your full self into it. Whatever action or decision you choose, go full in, not half here and half over there, right? And that half here, half there is what creates separation. And when you're coming from separation, you're creating a reality of chaos. You're creating a reality of confusion, and that is where self-doubt seeps in. So here's mind-blowing soul shift number 1. What if self-doubt exists because you haven't found yourself yet? What if self-doubt exists because you haven't yet discovered and explored all of yourself? And what if self-doubt exists because you haven't yet experienced yourself? So just consider, try not to resist or block the idea right away. Just consider. What if self-doubt exists because you have yet to fully express and experience the gift that you are, right? And from this space, from the space that, yes, we are a gift, we can expand from there into the infinite, limitless soul that you are. And if so, is it okay now to release self-doubt? Because if you're excited to meet your soul-powered version, then self-doubt has done its purpose, right? So just breathe through it and relax into the possibility. Yes, it's crazy making according to the mind, but feel into the depths of your heart where your soul is and breathe through it. Overthinking and overanalyzing is what exacerbates self-doubt. So just breathe. Step into that space where everything and anything is possible. And here's mind-blowing shift, soul shift number 2. What if self-doubt is an invitation, not a life sentence? So keep breathing from your heart and into your heart space. And keep activating what is possible beyond self-doubt, and allow the possibility of upshifting, up-leveling your relationship with self-doubt, and also invite in the possibility that there is a gift underneath self-doubt. And just keep breathing and stay in your heart as you receive what I'm sharing in this presentation. What if self-doubt continues to exist because you keep signing up for prison sentence and prolonging your own life sentence? And what do I mean by life sentence? So bring to mind the sentences you keep saying to yourself day in and day out. What life sentences you keep telling yourself that keeps you trapped in prison? And I know you already know this because we are predominantly coaches and leaders here. I want you to go even deeper. What are the words and patterns that you keep fueling and bringing back to life what no longer supports your highest good, that is no longer in your highest alignment? What are the words that, we think is natural or harmless, but they are not the expression of your highest truth and your highest nature? I want you to go beyond the awareness of what you already know are limiting beliefs. I want you to ask yourself, what else? Where else are you sentencing yourself to a life of imprisonment? What outdated beliefs, past conditionings, old patterns, limiting structures, unresolved grief, resentment, all that good stuff, right? That you keep breaking through, and then you keep grabbing them back and holding on to because of the unknown, because of familiarity, because of fear. And because you grabbed the old structure, where is self-doubt, right? Self-doubt gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It becomes this monster that you keep feeding by not fully stepping out of what you know is limiting you and keeping you small and keeping you invisible and depleted. Breathe and release. And how about we stop pretending we are not magnificent beings? How about we stop believing that we are in a struggle and breathe in the possibility that there's possibility to create peace, harmony, and inner certainty, and really grab onto that instead of the old structure. And open up and allow. Oh, but Tess, you don't understand. This is my reality, right? You're right, I can never understand because we each have different perspectives and experiences. But I can relate to where you're coming from because I've been there and I feel you. And I love you so much that I'm not willing to support you in continuing to feed and believe in your limitations, which keeps self-doubt alive and well in a vicious cycle, keeps going on and on and on and on and on until one day you decide and commit to break that cycle. But what if that moment is now? I promised you an activation and here it is. What if that moment is now? You can never find your own enoughness when you keep trapping yourself in the lower expression of the grandness, of the beneficence, of the greatness of who you really are, your soul power. And never knowing who your enoughness, never knowing that already. Like knowing it is one thing, but embodying it is quite another, right? Yes, you're doing it, but one foot out the door and one foot still in the old world of limitation and playing small and playing safe, right? You have to take a leap. What if now is the time to take that leap? Nothing wrong with playing small, nothing wrong with that, but you're in the wrong group. Right? You're meant to play big. You're here in Vanessa's group. For heaven's sake, play big, own it. So just quick story. I know we're going a little bit long here. Yesterday was my day off, and because there are so many moving pieces to this presentation, and the presentation I'm doing 2 weeks from now, which you are all invited to, by the way, and because there's that overachiever and overgiver and overdoer energy in me, anyone else here resonates? Comment me too if you're an overachiever, overgiver, overdoer. Raise your hand. That energy, which is my natural energy, is a natural energy for a lot of you, which I made wrong after my burnouts, and then having experienced burnout. Not the term burnout being tossed around loosely around out there, right? But the burnout I'm talking about is draining emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually, like feeling like I've got nothing left to give and might as well not be here. That kind of burnout. Anyway, from recovering from burnout, I really had to be intentional and peel away myself from the computer, from all the work, and create some balance. Self-care is non-negotiable, and I hope for you too. So long story short, my friend and I met at the gym, and all I wanted to do was hit the hot tub because I was starting to feel some tightness in my neck. And I feel much better now, but I just wanted to just soak in hot water, but she wanted me to try body pump. And I had no idea what that was. So I said, fine, whatever. I just want to move my body. And then she said, oh, Tess, you're gonna die. It's so hard. Body pump is so hard. You're gonna die. And I said, fine, I'll have my swimsuit, worst case scenario. I'll leave the class. I'll go for a swim. I really had no idea what body pump is. I didn't ask questions, didn't Google it. Bottom line, just hot tub. That's all I want. Everything else, sprinkles. Not worth my time digging into it. So anyway, when we got there, she repeated it again. Oh, Tess, you're going to die. It's so hard. You're going to die. Like, why does she keep sentencing me to death? I was like, I didn't say it out loud to her, right? I was thinking to myself, what kind of BS is going on here, right? And you know what BS means, right? Belief structures. And did I buy into her story? No. I survived body pump and I'm still here. No muscle aches. And I was like, oh, that's what body pump is, right? Okay, cool, right? An hour later, I was still in class. I really liked it. Loved the whole experience. I'm going to go again tomorrow. That's how much I loved it. So the thing about self-doubt, it's fed from other people's experiences, their failure or whatever, right? We prematurely judge the outcome or how we are going to feel based on other people's experiences. And we haven't even tried it if we liked it, right? I could have taken her word for it and said, no, thanks, I don't want to die. Not worth trying. But how many times have people discouraged you? And I know that, and I'm not talking about my friend now, okay? That's not my friend's intent. But really, how has other people's opinions and their experiences colored and influenced your own perceptions and beliefs? So don't take other people's stories and experiences as final word. Take it with a grain of salt. Not that they are unreliable, not that they're not telling the truth. Maybe not. I don't know. That's not the point. The point is they cannot be your source. They are not your source. Anything outside of you is not your source. You are always the source of your experiences, which turns into your reality. And that feeds into self-doubt and the stories and messages that says you can't, that makes the self-doubt get bigger and bigger, right? So hard, you're gonna die. So everything I say here, take it with a grain of salt. You are the expert. And that expertise you won't ever get to explore, experience, and expand if you keep listening and implementing other people's BS. And other people's BS are what manifests as self-doubt, because you have not yet met yourself. You have not yet explored fully functioning from soul power. And you can't ever be confident if you've never done it, and can't ever know for sure until you try. So that's one way of really evolving past self-doubt. And I hope you join me in a couple of weeks. I'm doing a presentation building from this. I'm not going to say the whole same thing, right? This the title of the presentation on February 12th, 6 p.m. Central is Wake Up from Self-Doubt and Step into Soul-Powered Leadership. Gonna expand on the reasons you doubt yourself, what to do when you start doubting yourself, right? What to do when you're doubting your own abilities, the cycle of self-doubt that I already started talking to you, how it all starts, but what to do to really interrupt the pattern of self-doubt, and how can you empower yourself when you're in that cycle of self-doubt that's taking you down. And why are you guaranteed to fail? When how what do you have to do to get out of that vicious cycle, and how to create trust, certainty, and confidence sourced from within yourself and really evolve past self-doubt. So I hope you join me February 12th, 6 p.m. Central Time. Yeah.
How about we put the link up so people
Sure.
can join you, Tess? So just so that you all know, I know many of you will be watching the pre-play, because that's what always happens in Facebook groups. A lot of people come in and catch the replay, which is awesome. We don't mind at all. How about we put up the link so people can actually register? So if you want more of Tess Vergara and you're getting soul powered, which, I'm going to tell you, you can pay for all the $10,000 high programs you want, coaching programs. You can have the world's greatest funnel. You can do a lot of things, but if you are riddled with self-doubt, don't know how to evolve past it, all that stuff is not going to do you any good. And the reason I know is because I've just had, during 2019, quite a few people, including Tess, going through my Step into the Spotlight program. And I can tell you right now, it wasn't until you all got past a lot of your limitations and really started stepping up and starting to believe in your messages and your work, isn't it, Tess, that things started to fire for your individual coaching businesses. I've seen it with every person that went through the Step in the Spotlight program during 2019. So this is essential work. So we're going to have Tess in here every month, keeping us on track, basically, in this particular area. And not just self-doubt, you'll be presenting lots of different things that you'll be activating in us. So, of course, today Tess has activated your belief in yourself and have you evolving past self-doubt. I'll tell you what, I was sitting there, Tess, with my little headphones on, just really getting into it. So thank you so much. So much of what you said rung true, not only for myself, but also, as I said, I've worked with so many coaches, and I just see it so often. And I know once you do step past it, things start to move, don't they? You have to agree, don't they? They do.
Yeah. And with my clients, they're all top leaders, and no matter how accomplished and successful they are, their CV is so impressive, and always in the back of my mind, why are they coaching with me? and almost each and every one of them is struggling with self-doubt and lack of confidence, and the stress of keeping it together, to come off as self-assured, that false bravado that I was talking about. It's really hard for them to let go of that persona, and it's really powerful work.
Yeah.
to step into leadership. Yeah.
It is. And you've said some amazing little words that I'm going to make some clips out and just keep playing them over in the group as well. So just as a reminder for people as well, because this is really the basis of the get out there and get known, attract client works as well. This has to be in place. As I said, I've seen it so often. So for anyone, we are having Tess in here once a month throughout 2020. So come in and join us. As more and more people really start to get fired up by this, Tess, I know that more will join us every month as well. And also Tess is doing her own training class as well, once a month as well. So if you've loved what Tess has had to say and you feel I need some more of that, I really encourage you to register for her next live training class, which is coming up in February, isn't it? So very soon. So we'll get Tess to put that link in the comments, and I'll add it here as well. Thank you so much, Tess. Just what I needed on this ridiculously hot day. And also a shout out to our other spotlighter, brilliance from a friend and comrade in Susanna Hatch, who is at this moment, I think, under a bit of siege by the fire around Canberra, close to her house as well. So
I saw the picture that she posted. Oh my God.
Yeah, oh look, Tess, this is just Australia at this time of the year. And it is very much what you're talking about as well. We won't go into politics or anything at this moment,
no.
But it is about us. And, you know, there's so many people now that want to speak up and speak out. And I think that they're not quite sure how to do it. So your work in actually helping people step into those leadership roles as well is just excellent.
And I got to tell you, I also don't know what I'm doing, right? But that following the calling is all that's really essential, is following that call and honoring that.
Yep, and absolutely.
A wonderful coach too.
How often do you think I always know what I'm doing? Right? No, just checking in, and then we'll say goodbye, and we'll look forward to catching up with you. Now, for those of you watching the replays, you know, you can comment along. Tess will drop back in and have conversations with you on any of the comments that you leave behind as well. Thanks so much, Tess.
Thank you, Vanessa.
And
thanks, everyone.
And we will have that link there if you want to join Tess in her private training as well. Jump onto that link and register for her next class as well. Okay.
All
bye.
Right. Thank you, Vanessa. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.